Welcome everyone, my name is Nicola and today we're gonna be talking about the team managed projects. Now, I want to start and say what are the team managed projects? Basically, it's a project type in Jira that can be created by anyone that is within the Atlassian site, unless Jira administrators actually turn off the create team managed projects feature. So the team managed projects basically are for smaller teams that want to get started with their work as quickly as possible, and also for the teams who want to have their self-contained space. Also, they want to have a simplified workflow, not a lot of configurations that they need to do. So yeah, and from this project that you actually see right here, this is actually the team managed project, and you can actually see that in the bottom left corner where it says you're in a team managed project. In the previous video, I actually showed you both team managed and company managed projects, and we went through the project creation process. Now, the focus is going to be on the team managed projects in here. So the very first thing that you're gonna notice are these columns right here, and by the default in Jira these columns are created and they have to do, in progress, and done column. Done column always is a must, so done column needs to exist. Now the thing is, what you can actually do, so you can create an issue by issue saying, for example, hello. And another thing that I want to mention in here, that it already has a defined workflow of to do, in progress, and in done. That is going to be the default workflow within your team managed projects. Now, the another thing that I want to mention in here, you can move your card between the columns, and when it gets to done column, it gets this strike through and it gets this like a check mark. This check mark represents the resolution. So when we click on this project right here, you're going to see that it's in status of done, and now it's in the resolution. So this here is a resolution. Yet this can be actually changed, but we're not talking about that right now. So the another thing that I want to mention is that even within Kanban, so when you go to your project settings and when you go to your features, there is a backlog. And when there is a backlog, or when you actually turn the backlog on feature, the sprints feature will actually be turned on as well. And then this board automatically is going to transfer and is going to create a Scrum board. Within a Scrum board, what is important for you to know is when you create an issue, those issues are not being represented on the board unless you start a sprint. So that is another thing that you need to know. More things to know is that these issues right here from the done column, they can be removed by the project administrator and by the Jira admins only. And the thing is, when you don't have the sprint feature enabled in team managed projects, automatically after 14 days, all of the issues that were within this column will actually disappear by default. Now, what you can actually do, you can also add another column that is called testing. For instance, Now when I move it right, when I move my column right here, and if I do this, it's going to, so it automatically when you create a column, it automatically creates a status as well, which is actually an interesting thing to have in a team managed project, right? So that is one of the things that you actually have in there. So the other things within the team managed project, as you can see in here, I haven't seen this. This must be a new feature by the Atlassian that allows you to actually import your work, right? So when you're importing your work, you can either import it with a CSV file with Trello or using the JSON. Now also you have options in here, open issues in the sidebar. You have that. And also you can manage your workflows, you can manage your custom filters, and you can configure a board. When you click to configure the board, you're actually configuring the columns right here. And this says in here, these are the statuses for task, for epic, and subtask. These are, if I can say, the default issue types created within your team managed project. Now, when you go to your issue types, this is what you're going to get. So this is actually the layout, and the layout is simply how your fields are going to be represented in the create within the create screen screen. What do I mean? So this is it. This is the create screen screen. So you can go full screen. You don't have to go full screen if you don't want to. You can add fields in here. So what I want, if I want to say, yeah, I want to have the start date, and I want to have the due date, and want to save the changes, that is totally legit. When I go to task, and when I move on here, I see I have a start date and I have a due date as well. When also you can manage your workflows, and when you manage your workflows, you can do the transitions, you can do the rules. So what do I mean by transitions? By the default, so it says in here when this any status means that I can move from to-do status into any of the statuses in here without any limitations whatsoever. However, if there is some kind of a transition that is in there that says first it moves from to do in progress, then from in progress to testing, and then from testing into done, you cannot just move the issues around the board how you want to move them. So, for example, so what is going to be a transition? For example, again, always you need to give your transition a name, otherwise it won't work. So let's take the Atlassian example, and let's call it start work, and I'm gonna update the workflow. Now what is going to happen? It says it may some time for this workflow to take place. I'm going to say hello to, and I'm gonna, when I want to move, I have all of this. So why is it showing me this? Because I haven't removed the any status. So if I go from manage workflow and I click on this any status, and I delete this transition, and I go to save, and I go back to my project settings, and when I want to move, right now, what is insane, you can't move this issue to this column due to the workflow configurations or permissions that we have made. And why is this? Because there is no returning transition that is from in progress to in to do. So that is why we are actually see the this what we actually see. So those were the team managed projects in the nutshell. In the next video, we're gonna be covering the company managed projects. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.